Good morning, everyone. Today, we will be introducing the president of CDT LLC, Mr. Kenneth Freeman.
All right.
All right.
I'm glad to be here. All right, so what's CDT? It's Construction Development Team. We're a local contractor out of Little Rock. My office address is right off Mapleville Pike, so I'm 5 minutes away from you guys, located right behind the Arkansas Highway Department. You guys see the big tall building out there. So that's where we're located. And so what we do is we're in the masonry construction industry. Does anybody know what masonry construction is?
Yes, sir.
You use a lot of use bricks and make stuff out of bricks.
Man, that's what we do. So with masonry construction, it's one of the oldest trades around. You know, even back, you think about biblical days, pyramids, that was all masonry construction, the way they put structures together. And so what we do is, we're the guys that come on the job site and we install brick, block, rocks, stone, precast, all types of things in the masonry construction industry. This right here, this is my dad, Kenneth Freeman Sr., and this is one of our foremans. We call him one. His name is Marvin Rawls. So he's a foreman on the job site that makes these things happen for us. As you can see, I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with Southwest High School. That's one of our marquee projects that we've worked on. We laid all the brick and block on that facility. So about us. This particular company, CDT, we were formed in 2010 up in January. It was by my dad and myself. We both are equal partners in this firm. So my dad, he got in the trade of masonry construction. He went to a small school called All-Timer Junior High. That's in southern Arkansas, south of Pine Bluff. And that's when he got introduced into trade schools and VICA and things of that nature. And so he learned the art of masonry construction. And so as he grew up, he worked for large masonry contractors and he worked all over the U.S. He worked in Arkansas, Boston, Connecticut, California, Illinois, installing masonry on large facilities. And they came to him in the mid-'80s saying, you know what? I need to go out on my own and do this for myself. One of his employers that loved having him work, he said, hey, Mr. Freeman, you work too hard and you are making us too much money. You need to go do this on your own. And so that's when he decided, you know what, I'm gonna strike out on my own and be my own boss. And so what he did was in the mid-'80s, he came back to Arkansas, set up his own company, and he was installing brick and block on homes. He did residential construction. And so he did that for a long time. As you guys can imagine, I grew up in this industry. I mean, I was 6, 7, 8 years old on job sites, on houses, picking up block, putting out mortar, putting out brick, things of that nature. So I had an envy from a child. And so I grew up in the industry, working with him on light commercial projects, residential homes where we brick those. And in high school, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get into this industry as well. And so what I did was I went to the University of Arkansas Little Rock, Bueller, here at University, and I majored in construction management. Here's the thing about construction. It's more than just blocks and bricks. It's more than just electrical and plumbing and HVAC and carpentry. You have guys that work in the field, as myself, but you also have guys that sit behind the scenes. So when I was at Euler, getting my bachelor's degree in construction management, I focused more on the guy who was in the office, sitting behind the desk. So I worked with a large general contractor here. I know you guys see NAPOs, and you probably met someone from their firms, and you're familiar with Baldwin and Shell. Well, I worked with a company called VCC. They're based out of Little Rock, and they were the largest general contractor in Arkansas at the time. And once I got my degree, I interned there for a year, and I started out as an assistant project manager. I moved up quickly to a project manager within about 8 months. And from there, out of Little Rock, Arkansas, in that office, I was managing construction projects nationwide. So I was flying out every couple of weeks to Tucson, Arizona, Pensacola, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Irvine, California, just all over. So I built malls, movie theaters, office buildings, hospitals. As a project manager for a large firm, I did that for about 5 years. And so that's what I'm going to show you guys. Construction is broad. You don't just have to be the guy using your hands, doing things. In that role, I use this right here, and I had a keypad. And all I had to do was just call to make sure things were going as they needed to go. And I just go and visit every couple of weeks at the job site to capture photos, to make sure everything's in line, to meet with architects, to meet with clients, to meet with owners. That's what Ms. Gray was talking about, get more confident in speaking to people. When I was in high school, man, I didn't have the confidence to get up and talk to folks. I couldn't do it, man. I excelled on the basketball court. I went to Joe T. Robinson. I could hoop growing up, man. I could shoot the rock. But one of the things I lacked was more confidence. I think if I had more confidence back then, man, I probably could have played D1 ball. But what happened was, I kind of got a little shied away. I'm 5'11", and I was on my team's best player. And so I had to play all 5 positions. And then sometimes I had to go against the 6'6" and the 6'7" guys like Ronnie Brewer from Fayetteville. You know what I mean? When you just looking at mere size, you kind of lose a little confidence. But if I had that back then, I could know, man, hey, he bleed blood just like me. We put our pants on the same way. So that's what, I'm glad you brought that up, being confident. And so I worked for this firm, VCC. I told you guys, 2010 came around. They wanted me to move to Irvine, California to go and work out of that office on some major high-profile projects. But at the time, I had 2 small kids, had a wife, wasn't really willing to go anywhere. So I got with my dad. He was slowing down in the residential. I said, hey, you know what? Let's get together and let's make something happen. And so we decided to form CDT at that time in 2010. And we're well known around the state of Arkansas. We don't just work here in Central Arkansas, in Little Rock, North Little Rock. We're everywhere within the state. We've worked Texarkana, Fayetteville, El Dorado, Jonesboro. So, we're everywhere. Even right now, we got a project coming up at the U of A in Fayetteville on that campus, a large project coming up. So we work all over to be more diverse. So we've been in business 13 years, as you see. Currently, right now, we have 20 plus employees. A couple of years ago, pre-COVID, we had 40 plus employees. But things changed in the industry when COVID happened. Today, since 2010, we've completed 200 plus projects. And like I said, they range all over the state. You can see our work on schools, churches, hospitals, office buildings, banks and restaurants all over.